Konnichiwa, my name is Saskia and I'm the CEO of the Grameen CreativeLab. We are a social business and our role is to promote the idea of social business and to set up social businesses all around the world. Social businesses are companies that have a social goal but otherwise work financially self-sustainable. They're non-dividend companies as well. We were founded by Peace Nobel laureate Professor Mohammed Yunus and a German entrepreneur, and are active in both Germany but also have offices around the world in Mumbai, in Haiti and in Colombia currently. In the past we've done many exciting things over the last 2.5 years. We've set up social business joint ventures with large corporations, including companies like the chemical company BASF, the shoe manufacturing company Adidas, other companies including German retail giant Otto, and so on and so on. Also set up social business joint ventures with Japanese companies. One of them that you might know is Fast Retailing, which own the brand Uniqlo, that have been setting up textile factories in Bangladesh as social business. And another one is Yukigune Maitake, that is also doing an agricultural social business in Bangladesh currently. Next to that, we have conducted social business lab workshops over 55 times all around the world, among others also, of course, in Japan. We have created a GCL at Kyushu University, so there's a wonderful university collaboration that we have with you here in Kyushu, led by Professor Masa Okada, that is a teaching and incubation hub in Japan. Additionally, we have set up social business funds, one of them being in Mumbai and the other one being in Haiti. And that is also exactly the reason why I would like to speak to you today. Why Haiti? Japan and Haiti are of course completely different places. Japan is one of the leading economies in the world, and number 3 in terms of GDP in the entire world, whereas Haiti is of course the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. So completely different worlds that we're looking at. Japan is a gigantic country with over 125 million people living there, whereas Haiti is of course also an island, but a much smaller island with around about 10 million people here. Of course, the status of development is vastly different, no question. Japan is at the forefront of innovation, extremely modern, and has been a leader in many fields, technology and so on in the world. So, of course, Japan and Haiti are completely different places. Still, I'd like to share the experience on Haiti with you, because of course there's one thing that combines both countries, and that is a terrible earthquake that has happened to both of you. You might know that in Haiti on January 12th last year, 2010, a terrible earthquake has struck. It was of a magnitude of 7. Over 300,000 people died, a similar amount of people were injured, and almost 2 million people were left homeless in a country of 10 million. 2 million is of course an incredible percentage. Right now Haiti is of course on the path of reconstruction and rebuilding. In Japan also, of course, a terrible disaster has happened. Several thousand, 18,000, 19,000 people have died or are missing, and of course in addition to that there's been a terrible nuclear disaster where nobody really knows at this point what is going to be the outcome in the end. So of course Japan has been hit extremely hardly. Less buildings might have collapsed, but still it is going to have an incredible impact on Japanese economy, on particular single people that have been affected, on their families, and basically on even the entire world. Japan is of course highly integrated with the entire economy of the world. We here in Germany and in other places of the world of course deeply feel with what you're going through here in Japan. In any case, what I wanted to share with you today is our experience in Haiti, and maybe there are a few things that you can take as ideas for your rebuilding efforts in Japan as well. So what have we done in Haiti, and how did it all come about? Basically what we said is there's enormous relief efforts happening. After the earthquake, millions and millions have been brought in resources and in people to Haiti to basically help the rebuilding effort. And often if you have natural disasters like that, you see the international community being very passionate very much at the beginning and doing and trying to do their best to be successful, and then over time sometimes the countries are somewhat left on their own and basically need to find a way to be sustainable in the long run. That is exactly what we tried to focus on. We did not focus on the direct relief effort in early January, but said we would like to build an infrastructure and a way to basically create sustainable solutions for Haiti in the long run. And basically after the research that we did, we decided to set up a social business fund. So what is a social business fund? Social business fund is like a venture capital fund that most of you might know. It's a fund that invests in small stage social businesses that all solve some kind of a social problem, of course, that invests in these businesses, and these businesses over time repay the money into the fund, and then the fund reinvests it again into new social businesses. These give it back to the fund again reinvests it, and so on and so on. So if you see, the fund is somehow a recycling facility of capital. It works different than a normal donation-based model in the sense that it invests its money and it gets it back from the businesses again and invests it. So in other words, the dollar that you put into a social business fund doesn't only have one life, it has many, many lives. This is basically the approach that we have taken in Haiti. So what have we done? In the last year we've set up our local operations, our office, we have our local staff there now. We have gone through the due diligence of many, many, many wonderful social business ideas with potential entrepreneurs. We have decided to focus on 3 particular areas, one of them being nutrition, the other one education, and finally agriculture and environment. So in these fields we're looking into social business ideas, and we have great proposals and are investing in wonderful social businesses, like one of them, for example, being a vocational training schools, particularly focused on the young people and young women in particular, of course, in Haiti that are now left without jobs and work and so on. So the vocational training school and also an IT training centers are great social businesses that are being set up there. We're working with local smallholder farmers to generate higher prices for them and to set up a business that has exactly this goal. We also are looking into mobile dental clinic and so on and so on. So you can imagine there are many opportunities because there are many challenges, and every challenge is therefore also a social business opportunity. So this is what we're doing in Haiti, and I was thinking, of course, as I said before, Japan and Haiti are completely different places, but still both of them were struck by this incredible natural disaster. And we believe that social business can also be a solution for Japan. It might be different areas. Maybe it's not exactly those 3 areas that I just talked about. Maybe it is, for example, environment. With the radiation, of course, there will be a long-term problem for Japan that needs to be dealt with. Maybe we can create social businesses to address exactly this problem. What about health? Health, of course, many people have been affected in terms of their health through the earthquake, through the radiation and so on. Maybe we can do something in this particular field. Maybe it's also agriculture in general. I think there are many areas where we can also become active with social business in Japan. I really would like to invite all of you, be it you as an individual, you as a foundation, you as a member of a company, to think about what can you do and what can be done for Japan right now. Of course, the government is very generous right now and giving relief money to every single person that has been affected, etc. let's think about it. How can we use this money that it can be used in a sustainable way for you to run your own business? How can maybe a company be generous and show solidarity with the people and find a way that they run as a social business, or they have a subsidiary that runs as a social business? I think there are many things that we can do in Japan, and also in that sense draw parallels with Haiti, even though again they're completely different places. It could be a social business fund just as in Haiti. We've actually, as a matter of fact, had conversations with JICA for a social business fund, so they are familiar, of course, with the idea of a social business fund. We were talking about Bangladesh, but maybe now this would be an idea to actually use for Japan itself, that some of the relief money, maybe just a percentage of the relief money, goes into this kind of a social business fund to build the country sustainably. And with that, I'll leave you today. You can check us out on the internet, you can write us, ask us any questions, or also please feel free to get in touch with our Japanese partners. We have, of course, already started the social business movement there. There is GCL at Kyushu University, led by Professor Masa Okada. Get in touch with him. There are the companies that we have partnered with and set up joint ventures in Bangladesh, Uniqlo, and also Yukigune Maitake. Get in touch with them. They will be very encouraging, I'm sure, as well. We've made the first step in social business and in the social business movement in Japan. Now I think the movement is needed even more in the situation that we're in. So let's take the next step together. Looking forward to working with you all. Thank you very much, and arigato gozaimasu.